blessings without sorrow. The Father, Son, but the Spirit rest upon each one of you, rest upon the workers here, the engineers, and every worker. Blessings be to all of us now and forever.
During the visit, the Archbishop officially launched the project steering committee. The committee will be chaired by Augustine Wagaba, Deputy Governor of the Bank of Uganda. He will be deputized by Sylvia Arinitwe, a woman MP elect for Rukiga District. Other notable members on the committee include former Prime Minister Amama Mbabazi, Provincial Secretary Canon William Ongengi, Honorable Canon Ruth Nankabirwa, and Amos Mwesige, Managing Director of Church of Uganda Family TV, among others.
Let us not be wary of doing God's work. Because one day we'll reap without actually being forgotten. And I want to congratulate now, you get leaders amongst yourself whom you want to do what? I mean, for this particular project. This is not actually kicking out those who are already on the board. I mean, this is specifically for this particular project so that we finish it.
The official launch of the Zimbabwe project is scheduled for 26 March 2026. The President of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has confirmed that he will preside over the event as a chief guest. Archbishop Kazimba applauded the members of the steering committee for accepting the responsibility entrusted to them, describing the project as a timely and visionary.
And we are just like me, the bishop is there and all others, we are there to see what help is needed. My signature for where it's needed to sign letters and others, and sometimes to enter some institutions where I'm available. I'm willing so that because we have our money, which is kept somewhere.
He noted that the Weather Training Center has increasingly attracted members of the international community, particularly in the training of the newly elected bishops from various parts of the world.
This place has now attracted the international community. As you know, we have the Church of England has gone astray, and now the Church of Uganda and the other churches have taken leadership. GAFCON, which is Global Anglican Future Conference. That's the meaning of GAFCON. And also Global South. Now the training of their new bishops, it is done here.
He emphasized that the expansion project will address the growing demand for accommodation and facilities. The Archbishop further revealed the plans to elevate the center to international standards in order to attract more global visitors and partners. Archbishop Kazimba called upon Ugandans to embrace a culture of hard work and unity, stressing that the opposition should not deter progress.
My invitation that let us have one mind, a mind to work. Let us be united. And we are going to see something. And I want to promise you one thing. It will always find opposition. Every good thing.
Reverend Andrew Agaba, Director of Household and Community Transformation at Church of Uganda, under which the Weather Training Center operates, revealed that the redevelopment requires 50 billion shillings to transform the facility into a world-class center.
And here we come to match with the 21st century with improving amenities, accommodation facilities, restaurant facilities, camping facilities, and our objective is to raise 50 billion. What shall we do with the 50 billion? We shall use this 50 billion to build new accommodation structures that will give us new standards at international level.
Committee members described the initiative as timely, noting that the center continues to host numerous training and church activities. They called upon all Ugandans and well-wishers to support the cause and contribute towards the transformation of the Weather Training Center into a globally recognized institution.
I really want to thank His Grace for being so visionary and adapting things that will really good at our church, even at the time of retirement, because he tells us he's retiring next year. But then he's thinking big.
And this particular project, Build Rweza, Zimba Rweza, it is intended to increase on the accommodation space as well as conference facilities and other amenities. So we call upon all Ugandans and beyond who have a good heart for this place, a good hand for the work of God and for Uganda in general.
Now this Zimba Rweza project is going to make this Hill of Rweza into an ultra-modern facility with 5-star hotel facilities, with world-class training centers.
Thank you, Julius Muhumuza, for that story. And now moving on, the Coalition for Health Promotion and Social Development, HEPS Uganda, has today marked a significant milestone with the graduation of the first cohort of youth leaders under its U-Lead Skills program. The initiative is aimed at equipping young people with practical skills to tackle unemployment and improve their livelihoods. We have more to this story.
The colorful ceremony, attended by partners, trainers and parents, celebrated the youth who successfully completed hands-on training in value addition, innovation and financial literacy. Officials said that the Youth Lead program was introduced in response to rising unemployment levels among young people in Uganda.
Passing out the first cohort of our U-Lead program, which is a youth skilling program. We train them on financial literacy, we train them on digitalization.
Speaking at the event, HEPS Uganda Executive Director Kenneth Mwehonge noted that increasing unemployment challenge prompted the organization to integrate skilling into its programming.
And we've seen that unemployment is also contributing to women especially, or young girls engaging in risky sexual behavior. We've seen them getting into commercial sex work because of unemployment, but also we see poor health outcomes among people who have these life skills, and that's why we've decided to trap them, because we've seen that economic empowerment is also a social determinant of health.
Mwehonge emphasized that beyond employability, the program nurtures creativity and self-reliance among participants.
To empower them with these lifelong skills, so beyond what they learn in class or what they will learn at the universities, we want to have them to have these personal skills, innovate, but also have financial literacy. In fact, we expect to have is one, prepare them for the job market. These days we are seeing students that come out of university. We take long to mentor them and train them because they are not prepared early. So they will be ready for market, ready for work. But secondly, they also have their own skills to start up their own initiatives. You've seen the products that they've developed here.
Founder and technical advisor Rosette Kajungu Mutambi reaffirmed HEPS Uganda's commitment to complement government efforts in addressing youth unemployment.
Today, we are having graduates have graduated in financial literacy and entrepreneurship. And this program, we call it U-Lead program. And it targets young people, but the bigger goal that we have is that we are trying to contribute to addressing the issue of employability in Uganda, which is a very, very big problem that we are facing as a country.
Mutambi highlighted that research indicates that many institutions do not adequately train learners on job creation.
Research that has been done shows that most of our institutions, they don't train for the job. And so here what we have skilled these young people is what they don't learn in school. So we have covered personal leadership, we have covered financial literacy, we have covered entrepreneurship, we have covered leadership and management, we have covered digital foundation, and we have gone into practicals of how to translate these ideas into tangible goods or services.
The youth have been trained in value addition on agricultural products and have also acquired skills that enable them to generate income from home, enhancing both productivity and entrepreneurship. The ceremony was graced by Dr. Rachel Kansime Kanyangabo, a clinical psychologist from Lago National Referral Hospital, who underscored the importance of mental health among young people.
We have so much that is going on around us in the country. There are many stressors. We are having many people with mental health challenges, and so it is very important that even when we train these young people in how to make it, how to make money, how to be independent financially, how to lead others, it's very important for them to begin with leading themselves. And leading themselves means being in the good mental status.
She encouraged the graduates to use their acquired skills to confidently sail through life's challenges.
In the life that we lead, in the world that we are in, there are many things that cause a strain on us psychologically. And so these young people need to be equipped with the skills to make them be able to sail through the hard times that come. You may not be able to avoid the hardships, but it's possible for the young people to be equipped to be able to cope.
Meanwhile, the manager for textiles at Uganda Industry Research Institute, Solomon Chiza, pledged continued collaboration with HEPS Uganda to expand technical skills training opportunities for Ugandan youth.
Uganda Industry Research Institute is still committed to collaborate with HEPS in promoting the industrialization of the country.
And now in more news, the Uganda Law Society has convened a high-level stakeholders meeting to address growing concerns over the recent eviction of street vendors in Kampala. The meeting brings together legal experts, city authorities, and representatives of vendors to examine the legality of the evictions and explore sustainable solutions that ensure order in the city while protecting livelihoods. Participants emphasized the need for wider consultations and proposed the introduction of structured evening and Sunday markets as a practical alternative to accommodate affected vendors while maintaining trade order in the city. We have more to this report.
Stakeholders under the Uganda Law Society have raised concerns over the manner in which street vendors were recently evicted from the parts of Kampala. Addressing the gathering, Daniel Niwawine, the spokesperson of the Kampala Capital City Authority, noted that some vendors had expanded their operations beyond the designated spaces, with some occupying more than 8 meters, causing congestion and disorder.
Some of them having over 500 bags, over 200 pairs of shoes. And some of these would have employees, about 6 of them calling on customers. These are traders that can take on those shops at modest rates because of the increase in the properties. Also, the cost of rent has equally gone down because most of these properties do not have tenants.
Niwawini added that there is a need to consider structured evening and Sunday markets as alternatives for the affected vendors, calling upon the leaders to engage objectively and without bias.
Traders want to protect. Will it make sense to have an evening market in the same place where we are telling vendors to live? Will it make sense having an evening market in the same green space that we are repairing today? But we have so many outskirts. We're looking at other spaces that we can use, school fields, after school. We are looking at non-busy streets to allow for quick evacuation of traffic from the city.
Meanwhile, Salim Wohoro, mayor of Kampala Central Division, emphasized the need to provide alternative trading spaces for the displaced vendors, noting that managing trade order remains part of their mandate.
On Friday, I was with His Excellency the President and Madam Prime Minister. We said, let's give alternatives. and roads. Now I've got a comment from my brother saying, which roads now? The town is looking beautiful, the arcades look nice. Where do we put the street vendors? I still insist, as the Mayor Kampala Central Division, we must have alternatives, and where it is, strictly we're going to insist on the roads.
Issa Sechito, chairperson of the Kampala City Traders Association, said the removal of the vendors was not illegal and cautioned the public against making premature conclusions without proper analysis of the situation.
But the challenge that is accompanied with this kind of business is that it has created lots of disorders, including security because of the massive congestion of the city, cleanliness because people don't have where they belong. Therefore, when they do business there, they wait for others to come and clean because they don't pay even garbage collection fees. They have reduced the opportunities of legally operating vendors in the markets, operating vendors in the arcades, who pay very expensive rent, who pay income tax, who pay presumptive tax.
The executive director of the National Entrepreneurs and Traders Association, Thaddeus Musoke, called for a critical examination of the root causes of the street vending in Kampala and the operational structures surrounding the informal trade.
Can we engage our comrades? Can we train them? Can we check their perception? Can we lobby to find possible interventions from the government? Like currently, when we are engaging with my board executives, we discovered that the president had made interventions to the saloon owners. So why can't the government institute a special fund to facilitate our comrades who want to formalize?
Thank you so much, Rita Nandera, for that story. And now moving on, 7 days after Kampala capital city launched an operation to evict street vendors from Kampala roads, much of the city appears decongested, though pockets of informal trading still remain on the streets. Now our reporter Emmanuel Alingai takes us down the streets to see what it looks like. Let's take a look.
KCCA's operations to remove street vendors entering its 7th day today. Following a directive issued earlier this month by Kampala Minister Hajat Misa Kabanda, the directive targeted street vendors, unlicensed taxi operators and border riders accused of causing traffic jam congestion in the city. A tour of the city, several previous congested streets are now clear and earlier accessible. Areas such as Namirembe Road, Nachivubo Road, Nabugabo, Chikubo, around the old taxi park, Mini Price, Chiseka Market, once difficult to navigate due to heavy vendor activity, are now open with smoother pedestrian and vehicle movement. Some streets including Allen Road, Benchiwanuka Street, certain lanes and parts of Lumu Streets still have vendors operating. Mr. Kabanda John, a leader in the Traders Association, FUTA, welcomed the reduced congestion. Saying the city is now easy to move through, he proposed that authorities consider allowing vendors to operate on Sunday and Saturday evening as a structured alternative to prevent a return to the roadside trading. He also noted that the KCCA still has work to do to fully enforce the directive in areas where vendors remain active.
Bw'otunuulira ekibuga essaawa zino amazima amatuufu ekibuga kirabika bulungi. Era bw'enaaba nga tekoleddwako eri evening market kubanga tebayawudde bifo kye bitagenda kukolebwamu obawa evening market ne Sunday. Tugenda kudda wano ne statement tulabe ng'abantu abo tubawabula ku butya bwe baali badde bakwata ensonga eno na kiki kye tugenda okuzzaako ng'abasuubuzi.
Shop owners also reported improved business, nothing that consumers who previously bought from street vendors are now returning to formal shops.
Tuteka muchinji, tusasula renti, tusasula license, tusasula income tax, tusasula kasasiro, tusasulire ebintu bingi okubeera nga tukolera mu bizimbe bino.
Space ndi munda naye ate n'ebyo ebintu byenyini tebabyagalawo. Batwagala nga tuli munda naye ddala mazima oteeka wa display. Tegeere enembeera tetuyisiza bulungi yadde n'akatono.
City dwellers interviewed said they are now enjoying improved accessibility, though some acknowledge that certain goods are now less readily available on the streets.
Tutukinako obuzibu naye n'abatembe baleko bakole ki bakole obasajja babateekere waggulu nti olw'essanyu tukolerayo okitegedde maama obasebe wange okitegedde kyekyo twagala tugenda kukola naye naffe batuteeketeeke fe abantu ba wansi bagenda kukolerawa kuba fe owa takisi betuvuga.
On the other hand, one evicted vendor expressed frustration, saying repeated evictions have left him struggling to earn a living. He appealed for a balanced solution that considers both order and livelihood.
Semanda Brian, wandi vendors, obulamu tetubusanze bulungi. Era banaffe abamu batandise okuba amasimu tebabusanze bulungi nnyo. Bagenze mu desperate life. Abamu bali tebanasasula n'abalandiroodi baabwe gye basula sente zaagwako biri.
According to KCCA estimates that last year, Kampala had more than 3,000 street vendors. Meanwhile, KCCA yesterday presented a draft law to the City Council aimed at improving urban transport management. The proposed legislation seeks to remove taxis and boda operating outside the designated parks and stages. If passed within the next 2 weeks, the law is expected to further streamline transport operations by eliminating roadside loading stages. If passed within the next 2 weeks, the law is expected to further streamline transport operations by eliminating roadside loading and unauthorized stages. For now, Kampala streets appeal significantly clearly. Clear, but the long-term balance between enforcement, order and livelihoods remains a key question.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel Alingai, for keeping us updated on what's happening on Kampala streets 7 days later after that the enforcement of street order following an order by the Minister of Kampala. And now, because we are the Church of Uganda Family TV, you get the very, very special moment of listening to the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda every other day, talking to you and giving you guidance on how you should live life so that you succeed and indeed go on to be fed spiritually. This is about that moment when we listen to the Archbishop.
Archbishop's Moment, sponsored by Uganda.
However small it might be, it can't be wasted. And then he goes on to say, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. You don't make a living, but what you get. But that's not what makes life. You make a life, but by what you give to help the needy. And that's where life comes. If you have ever found a person who gave it that I am poor because I was always giving, help me to know that person so that I pray for that person. Instead, people are blessed by giving. By giving. Because you do it for the goodness of God. You know, human beings, we want to get, and forget. But God is good. He gives, and forgives. So this is very important for us to know. People want to get, and they do what? Forget. But God gives, and forgives. And so when we also give, is the way He meets us at the point of our needs.
Archbishop's Moment.
Well, that is the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda feeding our souls and enriching our lives with a message of giving, especially that we're in the month of Lent. And certainly we hope that all of us out there in our homes, in our workplaces, in everywhere we stay, we should embrace the message and indeed live lives that are sustainable but also practical and positive for everyone in the community. Thank you so much for being with us, and News at 8 takes a very short break and we shall be right back. Now, welcome back from that very short break, and thank you for keeping it News at 8 here on Church of Uganda Family TV. My name is Philip Mlisa, and we move on with the news, but we start with tonight on Fast and Reflect. Reverend Emmanuel Koboy, the Provincial Youth and Students Ministry Coordinator, reminds Christians that fasting is not a public display, but a personal encounter with God. He emphasizes that for fasting to be meaningful and acceptable, it must be done with the right, He emphasizes that for fasting to be meaningful, it must be, He emphasizes that for fasting to be meaningful and acceptable, it must be done with the right heart rooted in prayer, repentance, and intimate connection with God. True fasting, he says, is not about appearance or routine, but about sincere devotion and spiritual renewal. Join us as we fast and reflect.
Praise the Lord, everyone. My name is Reverend Emmanuel Koboy. the Provincial Youth and Student Ministry Coordinator. I want to thank all the viewers of Family TV, such as our Family TV, for remaining tuned to our great station. And I pray that as well in this Lent season, God will bless you through these programs. Yesterday we talked about fasting, not being just skipping meals. Fasting is more than skipping meals. Yesterday we said fasting is intimacy with God. Fasting and praying season is reading the Word of God, is singing songs that praise God. It is seeking the face of the Lord. That's true fasting. And so today, I want to also, in the same line, emphasize that fasting must be done with the right heart. With the right heart. Fasting and praying is a heart issue. It is an issue that is intimate. If you go into praying and fasting without your heart being in it's serious to be genuine. It becomes hypocritical. You become a hypocrite if you go into fasting without meaning what you are doing. It's like being a hypocrite. You say things which you don't mean. You mean things which you don't say. And so today, I just want to point out that number one, fasting must be done with the right heart. God looks at your heart, not your outward show. Like we read a few days ago in Matthew chapter 6, from verse 16, that Jesus warned against looking for public attention as you fast. Fasting should not be for show. Fasting is for intimacy. And number two, Jesus encourages us to be humble. Fast in humility. Not to boast and show that now you're fasting and what. When you are fasting from the heart, there needs to be an element of being humble as you seek the Lord. Seeking God's approval and not human praise. As you seek God with your heart, you must realize that God looks at your inside. You remember when God was choosing the next king of Israel, and he asked Jesse, bring all your sons. And in Jesse's mind, Jesse said, let me bring this a firstborn, a very tall, handsome, big. When Jesse brought the first one, he said, not that one. Jesse said, maybe the second one. He brought another one. God said, no. He brought another. Then he brought all of them, and they said, God said, is there another one? Then Jesse said, there is another cowboy who is in the field, is grazing the cattle. Then he said, go and bring that one. When David killed, and David came before the presence of the Lord, God confirmed that this is the one. He was smelling from cow, when you're in the farm. Cows, sheep. When he came, his outward appearance was not as presentable as for his other brothers who were fresh, clean. And so, God looks at your heart as you fast. Don't focus on the outside. Focus on your heart. And your heart should be the number one force that heads into the sessions we have. So that you are at work and you say, let me pray. Let it be happy. Whether you are at home, you say, let me sing and pray. Have to be a heart issue. Whether you are at your workplace, whether you are away at school, it should be a heart issue. And so God has reminded us these three things. Number one, prayer, fasting, and praying must be done with the right heart and mind. Number two, God has reminded us that we must not focus on showbiz. Fasting is more than showbiz. Fasting is seeking God with your heart. Number three, God has reminded us that humility and seeking God's approval should be the number one driver of the fast. May God bless you and we seek the Lord during this season. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Emmanuel Koboi, for that message on fasting and the broader Lent season. Now, moving on with the news. Over 100 students have graduated at the 8th graduation ceremony of Mengo Technical and Business Institute in Nansana, with leaders urging them to turn their skills into enterprises and embrace innovation to compete in today's job market. The ceremony was officiated by the Executive Director of the Uganda Vocational and Technical Assessment Board, Onesimus Oyesije, who emphasized the importance of skill certification and entrepreneurship in addressing unemployment and improving workforce standards in Uganda. Our reporter Julius Muhumuza has more to this report.
Pius, Nakagwa Barbara, Kato Sari Emmanuel.
The colorful ceremony held at the Mengo Technical and Business Institute in Nansana marked a significant milestone as over 100 graduates received the qualifications in various technical and business disciplines. The event attracted education stakeholders, parents and government officials, all gathered to celebrate the achievements of their students. The Executive Director of Uganda Vocational and Technical Assessment Board under the Minister of Education and Sports, Onesimus Oyesije, who officiated as the chief guest, urged the graduates to enterprise their skills and embrace innovation in the competitive job market.
We are tasked with the responsibility of transforming what we have learned and mastered into productive enterprise. That one I already said it. Please, over enterprise is what? Your skill.
He emphasized that Uganda Vocational and Technical Assessment Board is prepared to assess and certify skills acquired by many Ugandans to ensure better recruitment and improved standards in the workforce.
As regards the law which my commissioner was talking about, we are looking at so many areas we are going to deal with. Omwami Kasasa tulowoza nti abantu president mugenda kuwa sente tulina kitubagaza kintu kimu nti bonna tugenda kwasesinga Uganda yo buli omwe alina skill gyalina n'abaana babadde wano those who are dancing here, we have what to deal with them. We want to make sure that every skill you have is assessed and certified and you have a record of what? Of that skill. How is it going to help us? And I don't want to mention them. You have relatives who go outside to work. The reason is that they don't go when they have certification. You reach there, you have to go in, but when you go with the certification, you say, this is my document.
The principal of Mengo Technical and Business Institute in Nansana, Engineer Joshua Birungi, highlighted the institute's commitment to providing high-quality education that cultivates competence, creativity, and confidence among learners.
At the sunset in the evening and latest tomorrow morning, this question shall start to haunt at the back of your minds. So now, what next, ladies and gentlemen? For those who planned well, the answer shall come easy.
He noted that the empowerment given to the students equips them to succeed in their future careers and become productive members of society.
I want to congratulate all the graduates who have come successfully, completed their studies on this level of certificate, advanced certificate, and the national diploma courses. I encourage all those graduates that this is not enough. The certificate you've done here in Mengo Technical and Business Institute allows you to go for diploma before we would have many procedures to reach on the level of diploma, but today the TVET has made us laugh.
Meanwhile, the chairperson of the Board of Governors, Dr. Henry Asimwe, urged the runners to remain accountable in their workplace and practice integrity daily as they represent the institute in the professional world.
We thank you for coming, and we thank you for preparing, for not only preparing your children for the world, but to prepare them, because it is important more to prepare them than to prepare for them. Because if we prepare them, then they will be able to achieve a lot and do a lot for themselves. For the people who are graduating today, the young men and women, please go out and serve. Be ready to volunteer, employ yourselves, create jobs. If you decide to go out and work, especially these days now that almost very many young men are going out, make sure that you go out with a certified and verified labor company, so that you go and work.
As the graduates step in the next chapter of their careers, leaders remain optimistic that technical and vocational education will continue to play a key role in addressing unemployment and skills gaps in Uganda.
And in more news, Equity Bank Uganda has successfully completed the migration of its core data center operations to the Raxio data center in Namamve Industrial Park, marking a significant milestone in the bank's digital transformation journey. The move, which was completed a week ago and publicly unveiled on yesterday, consolidates the bank's critical infrastructure with a high availability in the country hosting facility. We have more to this story.
Data protection in Uganda's banking sector is governed by the Data Protection and Privacy Act of 2019, which mandates that financial institutions obtain explicit consent to collect, use and store customer data securely. To effectively comply with this provision, Equity Bank Uganda has successfully completed the migration of its core data center operations to the Raxio data center in Namamve Industrial Park, marking a significant milestone in the bank's digital transformation journey.
The confidence we can give the team is that now we have stability. We are going to have greater stability as a bank. Not that we've not been having stability, but we are going to have greater uptime.
Equity Bank Uganda Executive Director Kilava Serumaga commended the Raxio and emphasized the importance the move carries for both the bank and its reliable customers.
But I think for us this is very important, and not just important for Equity, for compliance purposes, but very important for our customers. Our distribution today is one of the widest in terms of agency network. All these are running on rails of technology and data, and therefore hosting data in country is very vital for us, not only to process transactions faster, but also to transact more reliably, and also very importantly, we have more control of our data, because that then gives us the time and it gives us the space to innovate faster.
Kilava indicated that Ugandans and other Equity Bank customers are to experience real-time service delivery, as all data is now managed locally in Uganda.
As you know, it's been a journey. We're a very big bank, and obviously it required that we make sure it's very smooth. That means it took us time to plan, to procure the infrastructure. We have some of the latest technology. As you've seen, some of the technology we're using E5. And that level of investment is taking a lot of heavy investment for us to have this equipment here. So for anybody who is out there and you're working with Equity Bank, this is the time for you to be with Equity Bank, because not only do we have faster, high advanced equipment, which is latest technology, but also we have our teams here which are locally in charge and in control of everything.
David Kalyango, Executive Director for Bank Supervision at the Central Bank, described the shift as an important step toward safeguarding the national payments ecosystem, particularly as financial services become more digitized.
Some things outside your boundaries, you may not have much control. By coming to this center, Raxio Center, to locate it here in Uganda and particularly in Namamve, is enhancing the ownership of this data and therefore increases our sovereignty we have on our data. Issues of cyber security risks becoming common, but the challenge is now with all people, all players, to make sure that they have in place systems that are aimed at mitigating the risks against cyber security.
Robert George, the Raxio Group CEO, expressed immense joy for partnering with Equity Bank, indicating the role played by infrastructures in the socio-economic development of the country.
Keeping critical financial workloads and data within national borders is not just a regulatory checkbox. It's much more than that. It's becoming central to how trust is built between the financial institutions, the regulators, and of course also your customers. So the local infrastructure, it strengthens the oversight, it improves the performance, and it gives you greater control of how you innovate and how you're going to scale. And the important thing also,
this afternoon has been a great milestone for us, for all of us. We've been working together with Equity Bank for the past about 4 or 5 years, trying to migrate their infrastructure over into the Raxio facility. And we're very excited about what this means in terms of additional solutions and services that Equity Bank will be able to provide.
The migration positions Equity Bank Uganda to operate within a strengthened, locally hosted digital environment, reinforcing regulatory compliance, enhancing operation resilience, and supporting Uganda's continued transition toward a modern digital economy. John Baptista Humza, Church of Uganda, Family TV News at 8.
Now, in our international news, amid rising US-China tensions, China is closely monitoring US military movements and tracking American war assets in the region. The development signals heightened strategic rivalry between Beijing and the United States, raising concerns over regional security and stability. Now, that is all we had for you today in the episode of News at 8 here on Church of Uganda Family TV. My name is Philip Melissa, and let me ask you to do stay with us for more of our programming that does enrich your lives. My name is Philip Melissa, and a good evening.
This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Are you ready to rediscover the beauty of Uganda, the Pearl of Africa? Join us every Thursday at 10 p.m. on Church of Uganda Family TV for the Pearl Show, your weekly passport to Uganda's most breathtaking destinations, vibrant cultures and hidden treasures. From the misty hills of Kabale to the world wonders of Murchison Falls, from local legends to untold stories of faith, heritage and hospitality. The Pearl Show is where travel meets inspiration. Experience the people, feel the spirit, only on Family TV, where every journey leads you closer to the heart of Uganda. Don't miss the Pearl Show, Thursday at 10 p.m. on Church of Uganda Family TV. Travel, discover, believe, Uganda.
This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Up next on Church of Uganda Family TV.
Away from sin. You better do so, because sin has the same consequences wherever it is.
The only magic soap that we can ever have in the world is the blood of Jesus, because the moment I accept Christ, that blood immediately washes it. I love that song that says Jesus paid it all to him I owe.
Everything good you do, one in the household of faith, blessed you'll become 100-fold. Visit your clergy, visit your preacher, visit your bishop, care for them, stand with them, visit your archbishop, take care of him. All those of the household of faith, when you do that, God will multiply bountifully back to you, because you are honoring God and you are honoring His word.
Prayer is where we get a connection with God through Jesus. Prayer is very important for our unity as believers. But also, as we go through a lot of challenges in this world, the only way to overcome them is to have a time with our God.
Just one wife, that you need the leadership skills of a general.
Yes.
To lead an army of one woman.
So we have to take a lot of pain, a lot of effort to teach children how to get along with one another.
Your raw material is money.
Of course.
But it is not your money.
It is not
That
yours.
is the biggest challenge. So if you do not fear God, you will end up misappropriating this money and taking it to be your own. Yet it is just what you're using to do the work that you're doing.
So ego is very dangerous to me, and we should avoid the extremes.
This program exists to equip, challenge,
and empower men to expand their family leadership capacity for national transformation.